Hello, and thank you for tuning in. We're excited to share a powerful and transformative message with you, brought to you by the Transformers Global Leadership Center. Our vision is focused on raising a new generation of Christian leaders who are called to bring about personal, national, and global transformation. Whether you're looking to deepen your faith, grow as a leader, or make an impact in your community, this message is designed to inspire and equip you to fulfill God's calling on your life. And here's the best part: you can download and listen to all our messages online. Simply visit www.transformersglobal.org and gain access to this life-changing content. You'll find practical insights and spiritual guidance that can help you step into your God-given purpose. Thank you for being part of this movement. Together, we can make a difference in the world. We look forward to walking this path with you.
So I welcome you guys once again to Transform Your Life Masterclass. It's a program that we have designed to help you start right, stay right, and become preeminent. Okay. And one of the things I'm hoping for us to achieve through this conversation is that success will no longer be a mystery to you. Living the life that you dream, living the life that you want to live will no longer be a mystery to you. Some of us, if you are like me, grew up, finding life difficult, finding things that you would do to, add meaning and add progress to your life, very complex for you to handle. But over time, I started realizing that sometimes what we call mystery is actually an act of ignorance. And what we think that is a blockage is simply a lack of knowledge. There's a popular scripture in the Bible, that says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. So anything that is an act of mystery is just shrouded in ignorance. And part of what I'm hoping to do through this conversation is to demystify that, is to, make it easy for you to predict your life, make it easy for you to find out where you are in your journey, what you need to do for your next step in order to get the next result. Okay. And I thank you guys for the feedback. Thank you for everyone who are making out time within the week to join in the weekly conversation. I want to start by, stating why the weekly conversation is very important. Okay, so I come on Tuesdays. What we do basically is I teach and I give you the workbook, and then we go. The goal of the weekly conversation is that at the end of the teaching, I'm expecting that you are going to process the teaching using the workbook, reflect over it. Some questions are going to come up that is unique to you. Okay, so sometimes when we teach generally, we teach principles as it applies to everyone. But what happens is that at the end of the day, you discover that you don't have solutions that are applicable to your specific needs, your specific challenges, things that are affecting you personally as an individual. My goal is not just to teach you principles in general, but I want to answer specific questions about your life, your challenges, issues that are of concern to you. Okay? And that is why we have created the weekly conversation, so that when we come there, you can ask specific questions. And sometimes it has been an awesome session because we drive deep into things that are personal to individuals. It makes it more powerful. It makes it more, interesting. And those conversations end up becoming, equally as powerful or even more powerful than the ones we have on Tuesday. So I want to encourage you to, the way you guys are showing up, for the Tuesday classes, depending on the days of the week that applies to your group, I want to encourage you to be part of it, so that you can make the best of what we are trying to do. Okay. Previously, we have had two conversations that centered around your purpose and personal leadership. And I'm going to show you the compass once again. In the transformation process, I view personal purpose and personal leadership as foundational. They are core foundational principles that help you build solid ground. The Bible said, except if the foundation is destroyed, what will the people do? So the foundational element of your life, of your success, of your dreams, of whoever you are going to be in life is anchored on those two principles I've shared this past 2 weeks. and that is understanding your purpose and also developing personal leadership. Some questions came up, within the week, where people, raised up conversations like when you are talking to somebody about your purpose and the person is asking you, okay, this thing you consider as your purpose, how is it going to make you money? Okay. Usually that is not the first place to start from. I don't even encourage us to start. Each time we have a conversation about purpose, don't start with asking yourself, will it give me money? Okay. Every meaningful purpose provides for life, irrespective of where you are, what you think that you are doing. I remember listening to, a testimony of a woman who, left America, which is a dream country, went to Africa in Mozambique, and then went to the village, started a mission project, getting kids that are blind, setting up an educational program for them, helping them to, experience God, building schools. Currently, as I'm talking to you, she owns a university, she owns a private jet, she runs a global mission that has gone beyond Africa to even Asian countries and different other countries by just relocating with her husband to Africa in a small village, not even a city, in a small village in Mozambique. Today, she drives a private jet. What I'm trying to say is that you don't start the conversation of your purpose asking, how is it going to feed me? Or how is it going to provide for me? Or how am I going to become a millionaire? That is not where to start in the conversation of purpose. What you are supposed to first of all begin to do is ask yourself, how does this align with me? What personal unique traits, skills, abilities, giftings have enabled me to walk in that path in order to serve humanity and bring solutions to human challenges and human problems? That is what should primarily drive you, okay? So it is not good to start a conversation of purpose by asking yourself, how am I going to make money from it? But how am I going to, be purposeful in terms of my life? Every purposeful living will always lead to a reward. I want you to write this down. Every purposeful living will always lead to reward, whether it is financial reward, whether it is influence, whether it is prominence. And that is why the tagline I gave to the Transformation Compass is start right, stay right, and become preeminent. As long as you start right, as long as you are consistently staying on the path that you've established, nothing stops you from becoming preeminent. Nothing stops you from becoming powerful. Nothing stops you from becoming recognized, irrespective of wherever you are. Jesus said something that nobody takes light, okay, and hides it under a bushel. That rather you put it on something so that everybody will see light from it. That is how your purpose is. When you discover your purpose and become purposeful in the way you live, you can't be hidden. It's not possible. You can't be swallowed. They immerse you inside a sea. You just begin to float because there is something that you are carrying that is too powerful and too difficult for anybody, to stop. So your purpose is very, very important. Your personal leadership, discipline, deciding to stay on the path that you've discovered is also something that is also very powerful. And like I said, imagine those two things I described now, purpose and personal leadership, as your two legs. They give you anchor to stand, be able to move forward and accomplish results. We don't exist to sleep, eat, or struggle for survival. We live to build meaning to life. There is something that you have that you carried into this world that is supposed to help build a progressive society. Your purpose is anchored on that. Okay? So I just want to reiterate some of the things we've discussed and also build on some of the conversations we had within the week, to help somebody here also. Today we are going to be looking at the third session, which is personal relationship. If you look at the compass, okay, we started from purpose, discovering your life purpose, and developing your life blueprint. The second one, leadership, which is building a strong foundation by developing your personal leadership. The third one, we said, growing through building meaningful relationships. I said something. The way I'm teaching it is the way I expect you to practice it, is the way I expect you to do it. If you try to do it any other way outside the way I'm presenting this compass to you, you're going to have a challenge. Okay? You don't start life by building a relationship. You don't start life by developing personal leadership. You start life by first of all discovering what is your purpose. Okay? I said something last week that many of us struggle with self-discipline, not because that we have any issue with discipline, but simply because we lack a core understanding of our purpose. It is understanding your purpose and working in your purpose that helps you to establish discipline. Okay? So you discover your purpose, you develop your personal leadership, personal responsibility, and the next thing is that you start building relationships. Okay? Relationships are very, very key, and I'm going to be focusing this conversation in the next few 30 minutes to discuss on relationship. Okay, so the areas I hope to cover is first, the power and purpose of relationships, building deep and meaningful relationships, the power and purpose of mentorship, and then mentoring others. I try as much as possible to simplify these conversations. The reason is that I don't want to teach too many things. You see, we teach small concepts and I give you a workbook. We teach small concepts and I give you a workbook. We are going to probably be talking about this transformation compass the whole of this year and the rest of your life. So the goal is not to rush it. The goal is to, crystallize, little nuggets that can help you to begin to build your life in an incremental way. Okay, in such a way that over time you'll be able to look back and say, okay, I have been building my life step by step and I'm making tremendous progress. Okay, so some of these things might look short, the concepts might sound familiar, but remember, it is not about what you do, about what you know, but it's about what you do with what you know. I told you guys how many people registered for this program. I told you how many people show up on Tuesdays, and then how many people show up within the week. You see that the level of commitment reduces when you want to get people to take action. The moment they want you to take action, it affects your commitment. You relapse because taking action takes you out of your comfort zone. And it is people who come out of their comfort zone that begin to make meaningful progress in life. The first part which I want to discuss is the power and purpose of personal relationship. Relationships are God's channels for transformation. Relationships are God's channels for transformation. Okay? No matter how powerful your vision is, it will die without people. No matter how powerful, no matter how God-given, you might be sleeping in the night and an angel appears to you and tells you powerful things that is going to change the world, powerful ideas, powerful businesses, things that is going to revolutionize the world. But you see, if you are alone, there are 99.9% chances those dreams are going to die with you. There's a popular statement that the team makes the dream work because you are not designed to live life alone. In fact, let me say it this way. Every destiny is connected to a relationship. God did not design us to live in isolation. God designed us in a way that we are connected. That is why sometimes you meet people, you have some sense of connection to them. You go to some places, people see you and they just like you. People see you, they just want to be your friends. I believe sometimes there's a way I say it in my dialect. If I say it now, many people will not understand it. In fact, I even prioritize my relationships based on the connections I have with people. So when I meet with people and I have connections, it helps me to prioritize and know who to build with. Because we are built in pairs. Our destinies are connected. That is also why I'm intentional about family. Let me also say this for somebody. I also believe that the family unit was built to progress vision, to progress destiny, to progress purpose and ideology. Okay? No one single man can fulfill purpose. That is why God gives you children. Your children are extension of your purpose. They are extension of your dreams. You hear people criticize maybe men of God that they open a church and their son take over, or they open a company and their children take over. I don't criticize that because there are two scriptures that God gave me that cleared it in my head. The first one is that God puts solid place in families. The second one is that a good man lives well for their children unto a fourth generation. Wealth is not talking about a car. If you understand scriptures, wealth does not necessarily talk about material things. Wealth talks about virtues, eternal virtues that are in families, eternal virtues that are in destiny. Your life is an extension of your parents. Your children are going to be an extension of you. That is why there is nothing new. The progressiveness of the society is that the next generation builds on the next. So what I'm trying to say is that relationships are connected. You are not built in isolation. Your dream was not designed to exist in isolation. You are designed to work and partner with others in order to accomplish the purposes of God for your life. Okay? So no matter how powerful your vision is going to die in your hands because you are simply alone. Okay? One of the things I also want to say is that growth comes through people. So when you look at the compass, when you develop your purpose, you are only building foundation. When you start building personal leadership, you are still laying foundation. Okay? Probably you just brought it, we can see the block work, but they say foundation. The moment you start engaging relationships, you begin to grow. It is relationship that grows you, not just what you have been able to build personally by yourself. And that is why if you are not intentional about relationship, you discover that many of us will not grow. Many of us are not growing simply because of the kind of people we surround ourselves with. The quality of your life is directly linked to the quality of your relationships. Let me give you an example. I realized that when I was in the university, I don't really associate with my parents. And sometimes some of my friends see it as pride. Like when I was the SUG president, they will always complain that after school I go, that I don't want to hang around, drink with people. They just feel that I'm doing big boy. But the truth that was happening was that my life was very busy. While I was in the university, most of my friends or peers or people I associate with are married men. I guess it also influenced me getting married early. So most of the people who were influencing my life then, we are doing business, some were working in organizations, some are CEOs, some are bank managers, they are married, they have families. So by interacting and associating with them, it improved my level of conversation. It improved my level of confidence. It improved the things I was thinking. So by my second year, I've started a company. I was working in an organization. There were things I'm already doing that my peers were not even thinking of doing. By the time I was graduating from university, I was already a full staff of an organization. There were lots that was going on in my life and in my mind that, people who around me could not relate. As a student, I was already having conversations in Abuja with American ambassador in Abuja consulate, because I was a Southeast coordinator of American corner. We had only one American corner in the Southeast there, and I was the coordinator. So the kind of conversations I was having exposed me to the kind of books I was reading. And those kind of books I was reading started blowing my mind to start thinking differently. Relationship is what empowers you to grow. And I said, healthy relationships unlock opportunities for growth. If you don't have healthy relationships, you are going to be stuck. I was speaking to somebody the other day. I said that in the Bible, God said it is not good for a man to be alone. He said it is not good. Alone is not talking about marriage. Eve was not brought to Adam primarily because he needed somebody to marry. No. He said a helpmeet suitable for him. He's talking about a vision bearer. People that will come together to carry out the vision of God for their life. People will always tell me sometimes that, oh, I married a good wife. Oh, that I'm lucky when it comes to spouse. And I always tell them, yes, you might wish me luck, but there's nothing lucky about what I did. You see, before I got married, I already knew my purpose. I already knew what I was supposed to do. In my mind, I already asking myself what kind of woman is going to support the kind of life I want to live and the kind of destiny that I sense that God is drawing me into. I was already thinking like that. By the age of 22, I can tell you that I've read nothing less than 5 marriage books. relationship books. I've exposed myself to a lot of understanding that has to do with marriage. So when I was about to make the choice of marriage, it was clear for me on who to marry, on how to make a choice amongst all my friends. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not just enough for you to say, okay, because I am attracted to somebody, or because somebody is beautiful, or because you have sexual needs, or needs that has to do with the opposite sex, then I'm going to get married. No. The purpose of marriage, for instance, is to build destiny, is to build purpose. You know, marriage is just one aspect of a relationship that we can find ourselves in, but it still explains what I'm trying to say. Okay? The greatest need in a man's relationship, people will tell you the greatest need of a man is sex. No, I don't agree. I believe is a partner that helps build a dream. Is a partner that helps to build. And when I'm talking about man, I'm not talking about male man. I'm talking about both male and female. Every woman also needs somebody in their life that will help them to build their dream, build the vision of God. And that is what God designed us when He designed us in pairs. He designed us to be able to carry vision, carry dream, carry purposes, and make it work for humanity. Many of you are probably struggling because you're alone. I'm not saying alone in terms of marriage. I'm saying alone in terms of your life. You are just living life alone. You just want to sit down and figure everything out. You say, hide yourself, stay until you make it. It's not true. There's nobody hiding themselves anywhere till they make it. Every human being you see that is successful in life is a product of quality relationship. You can quote me anywhere. Find me a case that is different and I will show you. Even God, when He was creating man, said, let us make man in our own image. Let us make man. Jesus Christ, when He was on earth, was not isolated. He was not isolated. As at the age of 12, He was already going to the temple and having conversations with Pharisees. At the age of 12, see the kind of people Jesus surrounded Himself with. See the kind of conversation He was having. And they were discussing deep things about God. And He will be asking them questions and they will be shocked. How come this young man is asking this kind of question? It's because he started reading early. He started associating early. He started having quality conversations early. And even at that, He chose 12 disciples who are supposed to help to amplify the vision that God placed in His life. He intentionally chose relationship. So no matter how powerful Jesus was, it was the people that were surrounding Him, those 12 disciples, that amplified the dream or the plan of God or the calling of God over His life for humanity. He could not have done it alone. He could not have done it alone. Let me say it again. Many of you are struggling because you are alone. There's no accountability. Nobody has conversations with you. Nobody discusses your life with you. Nobody debriefs you. You are not accountable for anything. And that is why you are probably struggling. Okay? So your vision suffers because it lacks accountability. It lacks accountability. The question is, who are the people in my life and how are they helping me to accomplish the purpose of God for my life? Who are those people? Where are they? And how are they helping me? So why it is good for you to discover your purpose, why it is good for you to discover your dreams, why it is good for you to develop personal leadership, it is more important and more powerful to surround yourself with relationships that empower you, with relationships that help you succeed in terms of achieving the purpose of God, God's dream for your life. The next thing I would like to share as we move along is, how do you build deep and meaningful relationship? How do you build deep and meaningful relationship? The first one is what? Be intentional about who you connect with. Be intentional about who you connect with. And I said something last week that why many of us struggle to build meaningful relationship is that you might go to an event, you see somebody and you say, oh, I like this person. Oh, I would like to have a relationship with this person. Oh, I want to connect with this person. Okay? And then you try to go and build a relationship with them and you are not able to build a relationship with them. You collect their number, you send them messages, they don't reply. The reason is that while you see them in you, while you see yourself in them, they don't see themselves in you. So I mentioned it last week, but let me repeat it for those who are not here. one key thing that helps build a solid ground for relationship is that you have to lift yourself to the level of the people you hope to attract. You have to lift yourself to the level of quality of mind, of the kind of mind you want to attract. Iron sharpens iron. Two cannot work together except they agree. So it means that if I want to interact with a CEO, I need to think, talk, and act like a CEO. So that by the time I sit down with the CEO also finds me indispensable. He looks forward to the next conversation. If he wants to make a decision, he calls me. If he wants to do something that is important, he asks you, okay, so what do you think? Because he knows you are resourceful. Sometimes I find people who just want to collect a number of a big man and they just want to hang around them. And then, have jokes, have conversations with them, nothing meaningful, no value added, nothing going on. And then they hope for the relationship to grow and thrive. It does not work that way. So you have to build yourself to that level. You have to rise to that level. In fact, when you begin to grow yourself in terms of leadership, you discover that the right people begin to, come around you. You are able to connect with them. You are able to grow with them simply because there is something that they are seeing in your life, that they see in their own life, and it becomes the basis for a connection. Okay? Be intentional about who you connect with. The next thing I also want to mention is offer value before seeking value. If this is the only thing you get out of this conversation, this is the most powerful thing you can hear about relationship. Offer value before seeking value. You see, we are in a world of networking. You go to relationships, they tell you the power of networking. Business is all about networking. It's all about who you know. So some people print their cards, they move into the street, they believe it's all about who they know. And I guess at the end of the day, they are not able to get anything done because we have turned ourselves into parasites, just looking for relationships we want to milk, just looking for relationships we want to suck from. We are not coming to offer value. We are not coming to bring value. We are not coming to add something to the equation. We just coming to take. That you need people in your life does not take away the fact that you have to take decisive efforts to grow yourself, to grow your capacity. So that when you sit on the table and have a conversation, you just simply become indispensable. Simply become indispensable. How are you going to have a conversation with somebody that the person goes out, the person cannot forget you? Almost all my relationships, almost the powerful people I know in my life comes with a recommendation. And then when we sit down and talk, the person will say, this one, that one, I think we need to be talking every day. I'm doing something, can you be part of this project? I need you here. Because I'm not just there because I want to take something. I want to add value. In fact, in all my relationships, I'm always seeking out opportunities to add value. You can't take from where you have not sown. It says give and it will come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, shall men give. So don't spread yourself thin that you are building networking, that you want to network with people. Create value. Your value is your power in any relationship. Your value, whether it's marriage, whether it's school relationship, whether it's your friends, your value is your power. If you have no value, you are powerless. Or like we say it, you have nothing to bring to the table. Okay? So build trust and consistency. Build trust and consistency in relationship. And then, of course, the final one I want to mention is resolve conflicts quickly to maintain healthy bonds. Okay? So when issues about conflict come up in relationships, make sure that you resolve it quickly to maintain healthy bonds. Okay? The next thing I want to share is the power and purpose of mentorship. Mentorship is a fast track to transform your life. It helps you to avoid mistakes. The essence of mentors in your life is that it helps you to avoid mistakes. Let me say this. I have a lot of people that will consider me as a mentor. Okay, if you ask them, say, who is your mentor? They say, no, so no man is my mentor. I don't have any problem with that. I've never said I'm not their mentor. But I also notice things that they inform me about their decisions after they've made it. Okay, so you want to choose a life partner, you say I'm your mentor, then we never discuss who that life partner is, how they are connected to your purpose, and You just decide and you come to me and say, I'm getting married, or this is my card. What do you expect me to say to you? I'm not going to say anything to you. I'm going to say congratulations, and I'm going to make my own contribution. The same thing with businesses. People go make business decisions and they come to me and say, I was thinking of this, and then I took this money and invested. They say, oh, wow, that's nice. Let's make the best of it. I will even give them advices that will help them make the best of it. That is not the purpose of mentorship. It's not to inform me about your decisions. It's to sit down with somebody and discuss your life choices, your major key life choices, and then you ask opinion. And then let me also say, I've also realized that people go to events. Maybe they go to events, they want to do something, and somebody, a speaker, just spoke powerfully. And the next thing is that they go to the person, they start asking the person question. I have these two ideas, I'm not sure. I have these two passions. I have passion for this one, and I have passion for that one. I want to do makeup, but I also want to be a dancer. And they will discuss with the person. The person will just ask them a few questions and say, why not do both? Or the person will say, oh, why not just leave dancing and do makeup? It looks like makeup is more powerful. They don't know enough information about you to make that decision. And that is why I mentioned that there has to be consistency. There are people who are helping me make decisions in my life. Some of them have known me for more than 10 years. Some of them have known me for more than 15 years. They know my track. They know my passion. They know my history. They know my weaknesses. They know my challenges. You can't just meet a stranger randomly. If there is a prophecy through somebody, or God is speaking through somebody to confirm something in your life, that is different. Okay, I'm not against that. But mentorship is a process. Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. It's a process. It's a process. While we are having this conversation, sometimes it might need time. I might need to know you for 2 years, for 3 years. Understand you, understand your processes, understand how you think. Sometimes there are people that I even know how they think. I can't even tell them because they are going to run away. So you just keep them around, give them a good feeling. Because I've also noticed over time that when you become realistic with people, because they are not seeing it, they've not had the maturity to come to the level to what you are seeing, it scares them. Sometimes some take it as insult, some take it, okay, maybe you don't believe in me, and they move on. So sometimes you just leave people, they are doing what they are doing because they are not even ready. Not that they are not ready, they don't have the knowledge. They don't have the knowledge to receive instruction. Why do you think in the Bible says that when you give wisdom to the wise, or when you instruct the wise? So it means that there is a certain level of knowledge. There's a base knowledge. There's a base understanding that even allows you to receive more information. Jesus said to the disciples, I have many things to tell you, but I cannot tell you now. Why? The knowledge you have cannot entertain it. So mentorship is a process. It helps to guide you. It helps to provide direction. It helps, there are some decisions I'm going to make. There are people that have known me for the past 10 years. There are key decisions I want to make. For instance, there's a decision I made with my wife 2 weeks ago. Even after praying, and I got confirmation in my heart that I believe that this is what God wanted us to do. We got the confirmation. I took my phone, called a senior person that has known me for years. I said, this is what I want to do. What do you think? And I don't tell them I heard from God or anything. I just leave it like that. I say, I'm just thinking about this, And they are going to look at my life. They will understand conversation. They will understand things I've been through, things I've done, the ones I didn't work, my weakness. They know me in and out. And they will say, okay, based on this, this is how to look at it. Sometimes they even show me an aspect I'm not looking at that I will now zero in and then amplify that success. A good mentor is designed to accelerate your journey to success. That is what it's supposed to be. So your mentor is not your colleague. Your mentor is not somebody you argue with or try to share opinion with. No, you listen, you take instructions. You listen, you agree. You listen, you try to see from their perspective. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. Maybe there's something that they are seeing I'm not seeing. That is the essence of having such individuals in your life. One thing I've also noticed, especially some of us from Africa, we choose mentors because of people we think that can help us financially. I've noticed that it has happened to me. where people come around you and they want something from you, and then when they hang around, it looks like they are not getting what they want, or what they are looking for is not coming as they want. And you see them, they keep slipping away, they keep disappearing, and all of a sudden they disappear. Because they are not building relationship intentionally. Some just want to hang around to keep the relationship open, so that anytime they have a problem, they know, okay, there's this guy I can talk to, there's this guy I can talk to. So anytime they say, but are you involved in their life? No. Do they want to listen from you? No. Do they want to learn from you? No. Are they asking you questions? No. Are they interested? Okay, what do you think about my business or what I want to do? No. The focus is, let me keep them arm's length, so that anytime I have a need, anytime I have a problem, I can just go and then get help. But the goal of mentorship is knowledge transfer. I said that the reason why we started this conversation last week is that it is part of my goal at 40 to transfer my knowledge, to begin the process of transferring my knowledge and helping others understand from my mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes in life. I've done a lot of things. I grew up with so many potentials and I made a lot of mistakes. And this is an opportunity to learn from other people's mistakes, even if you're going to make your own, but you make it and then you fail further. There's a way to fail and fail further faster than just failing and sitting there and then, making a mess of your life. Okay? The last thing I want to mention is that mentoring others is also powerful. Okay? So when you receive, you also give. Once transformed, is your responsibility to help others. Part of what we are trying to do through Transformers is that we want to create a connection. We want to create a relationship where, as you are receiving mentorship, you are mentoring others. That is how God designed it. That is the model of Jesus Christ. As you are being mentored, you are mentoring others. Okay? There is something you learn when you are taught. When you sit in class, there's something you learn. When you teach others, there's also something you learn. So to balance that cycle of knowledge, to balance that cycle of learning, you need to find yourself in a position where you have relationships that are pouring into you, and then you have relationships that you are pouring into. You have a relationship that you are receiving from, and then you have a relationship that you are giving. And that is why we call this transformational, Transformers leadership global. We also call it a network. It's a network of leaders. Leaders who are receiving leadership and also giving leadership. Leaders who are being mentored and they are also mentoring others. How? So that you can share what you've learned. You see, the more I have conversations about purpose with you guys, the more it helps me with my own purpose. The more I teach you guys this transformation compass, the more it's also helping me. The more the concepts expand, the more it grows. Sometimes I'm preparing my lessons, I stumble into new knowledge. The more it's expanding in my mind, in my heart. So you need an opportunity to let out. You also need an opportunity to receive. You keep that aspect of your life balanced. So remember this. I said something last week that everybody wants a finished product, but a finished product comes as a result of a process. Every finished product did not land from heaven. It came as a result of a process. Why is Africa failing to build a society? Because we are interested in a good society, but we are not interested in the process that leads to a great society. We want the proceeds of a good society. So you imagine countries where things are working, and you want your country to be like those countries, but you are not interested in process. Some of us, that is how we are. You see, the way we are teaching this thing is bugging your mind. You feel, okay, maybe just tell me this 1, 2, 3. Let me just make it and make money. What we just need is money to eat food. Why are we having too much conversation? You see, because you are not interested in process. You don't want to learn the process. You just want somebody to get money from anywhere, get house from anywhere, get car from anywhere. You want to go to church. That is why you see a lot of people who troop into church looking for miracles. Okay? Because we think that the way God blesses is through miracles. God doesn't bless through miracles. God blesses through processes. Does God do miracles? Yes. Is miracles God's means of blessing? No. God's means of blessing is processes. He created Adam, placed him inside the garden, and told him to tend the garden, grow his influence, grow his processes, multiply all over the earth. God is a God of process. And that is why I'm introducing to you the transformation compass. Okay? The compass is to help you to identify what are the key processes you need to put in place in your life for your life to be in order. I mentioned it. The first one is you need purpose. The second one is that you need personal leadership. The third one now that we'll discuss today is that you are going to be looking at your relationships. Who are the people involved in your life? Who do you listen to? Who do you give attention to? Who speaks to your heart? If you don't have these questions answered, then it's going to be more struggle upon struggle upon struggle for you. Okay? So if you don't discover your purpose, you will not be able to have personal leadership. If you don't have personal leadership, you won't be able to attract the right relationship. Let me even tell you guys, sometimes you see a girl of your dream in the street. You say, oh, this is a girl of my dream. I would like to marry her. But before you decide, go into the girl's mind and also ask yourself, when the girl is looking at you, are you the man of his dream? That's why I said that most times this conflict of interest comes when you see yourself in people, but those people are not able to see themselves in you. You look at somebody, you feel, okay, maybe this guy, he has all it takes to help me accomplish my purpose, to build together and become. But when they look at you, do they see the same thing? Do they find you as somebody who is going to be resourceful in helping to build their own dreams? So you start with purpose. You always start with purpose. And then you engage personal leadership. Personal leadership is start you living your purpose. As you start living your purpose, what happens is that people in your life who are not connected to that purpose will start naturally living. And then you will now start attracting new people who find that purpose in you the same way they find it in themselves. And then that is how you build new connection, you build new relationship, you begin to do it. And then the next week we are going to now discuss systems. Okay, so outcomes are results of a process. You want a good car, you want a good family, you want a good house, you have designed your purpose. I've asked you guys, what about your purpose? Many of you have been able to answer that question, and that is beautiful. Okay, so that's the outcome. Your outcome is the result you want to see. Okay, those are the results you want to see, which is beautiful. But for those outcomes to come, there has to be a process, and that is what I'm giving you through Transformation Compass. The whole journey is to help you to connect the dots. How do you connect the dots? My goal, my intention is that whenever you look at the Transformation Compass, you know where you are missing it. This is one of the things God showed me that is powerful about this. Whenever you look at it, you know where you are missing it. The goal is that if you plug these three key areas in your life, I gave you an example, for instance. You can apply this in any area of your life. When I'm going to teach you business, it's the same principle. When I teach you about being a successful student, it's the same principle. When God gave me this, he said, if you plug it anywhere, you see what is wrong. Okay, these three principles I've taught you, can we plug it in a business? Fine. Purpose. Purpose talks about what is the purpose of the business? Why are we here in the first place? What value are we creating? What are we pushing out to the marketplace? Secondly, what about personal leadership? Who is leading this business? You are running a business, you go to work by 11 a.m. and you close by 2 p.m. And you call your friends, you sit somewhere, you are watching football, Man U and Chelsea. You can't grow a business like that. You must have personal leadership. You must put in time. Elon Musk said that when he was starting his business, he was working 120 hours per week. Go and calculate how much time he sleeps, eats, and visits friends. See, in Nigeria, everybody is busy. Everybody is busy until you ask them for money. And then you now ask them, so what have you been doing with your time? Everybody is busy. Everybody is busy. It's shocking. But ask them, okay, how did you spend the last 24 hours? Visiting friends, attending events that doesn't add any value to your life. And at the end of the day, you discover that the things that are important that you are supposed to be building, you are not building it. Look at relationship. Relationship. Who are the people working in the business? And who are you reaching? Who are your customers? Do you understand who your customer is? Does your people understand who their customer is? What is the relationship between you and your customer? And what is the relationship between the customer and the business? If you plug in these three areas, you see it has addressed the value proposition of the business, it has addressed the leadership of the business, and it has addressed customer segmentation, understanding who you are trying to reach. Okay, because my time is up, let me quickly rush into our manual for today so that you can be able to understand fully what we are trying to do. So one of the first things I want you to do is to look at the power and purpose of a personal relationship. Reflect on questions. Who are the three people who influence you the most right now? Right now. When you look at your life right now, who are the most that influence you? If it's more than three, remember I told you guys, these are just suggestions. This is just to provide a room, an opportunity for you to reflect over these things. Okay? So look at it and ask yourself, who are the people influencing my life most right now? Okay? Are your current relationships helping or hindering your growth? Okay, so identify it. Are they hindering or helping your growth? Remember, sometimes you come, you listen. That you listen to me doesn't necessarily mean I'm your friend. You have core friends. There are people you discuss with. They are go-to people. You mostly talk to them every day, or twice in a week, or 3 times in a week. They are your go-to people. What do you guys discuss? When you sit, what kind of conversations do you have? Look at those key relationships in your life and ask yourself. It could be your siblings. It could be anybody. How are they helping you? Or how are they hindering you? Okay? So make a list of your inner circle. What does each relationship add or subtract from your life? Key principle is that you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The second one is identify one relationship you would like to strengthen. Okay? Like I said, it can be 2 relationships, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5. You know, identify key relationships you want to strengthen. Then write down 3 ways you can invest in that relationship this week. It could be your time, it could be value creation, it could be encouragement, it could be anything. But ask yourself, in what way can I invest in that relationship this week? I do it intentionally. Sometimes I just sit down and ask myself, okay, these 2 people have played significant role in my life. What do I do? How do I give back? How do I do something? I do that periodically. Sometimes for my senior friends, senior colleagues, sometimes for my, co-friends, sometimes for people I'm mentoring. I just ask myself, so how do I go out of my way to do something for this person? And I think on something and I do it. How do you create value? How do you add value? How do you add value? Okay. So rate yourself from 1 to 5 on the following. You make out time for people that matter. You communicate openly and honestly. This is very, very key. A lot of people don't communicate openly and honestly. And let me tell you, for instance, I have people I mentor. When they are not having clean and purposeful communication with me, I just leave it the way they are. I noticed that sometimes in the past, when I realized that people are not having honest conversations with me and I confront them, they run away. So what I do most times is that if you are doing gibberish, I'll just be listening to you. Okay, and when you are done, I'm not doing it in terms of being dishonest as well. No, I just treat you based on the level of information you are giving me, even though I know there's more. But I'll just treat you the way with the level of relationship. So based on what you tell me, I will give you sufficient information based on that. I don't do more, I don't do less. Most people don't communicate openly and honestly. Most people don't discuss their weaknesses. They don't discuss their challenges. They just hide. They just, and You see, there are certain conversations I will have with somebody, and sometimes, no, it doesn't sound together. There's something you're not telling me. I say, no, there's nothing. This, I say, okay, it's fine, but it's not connecting the dots. The ends are not meeting. It doesn't make sense. Life is built on principle. There's no mystery anywhere. There's no mystery anywhere. Everything you call mystery is a lack of knowledge. There's no mystery everywhere. Even serving God, there's nothing mysterious about it. There's nothing mysterious about miraculous. There's nothing mysterious about healing. There's nothing mysterious about prayer. There's nothing mysterious about heaven. There's no mystery. Every mystery is as a result of lack of knowledge. If you find knowledge, it becomes less mysterious to you. I express gratitude consistently. I listen to understand, not just reply. There are some people I'm talking to them, we are having conversations, or sometimes I see people in conversations and, they are talking to them. They're just waiting for you to finish. By the time you finish, they want to give you a reply. I went to meet one of my mentors one day, and while we were having conversation, he started telling me about one guy also, he was mentoring. See that this guy that he has never met anybody as difficult as he is. He said, the way when you start working with the guy, that was the very first day I heard about that illustration. He said that the guy is like, he has a root problem, okay? Just imagine a tree with a root problem. And then he begins to dig the roots. He begins to dig the roots, okay? And then he's feeling that, he's making progress, that he's digging the roots, he's making progress. And then by the time he comes back tomorrow, the tree has moved from where it was. Then he starts digging again. He starts feeling that he's making progress. By the time he comes tomorrow, the tree has moved. He said he doesn't understand that there is no way he tries that he ever wins with this guy. Because he said that the guy is not agreeing with one thing, or he's not comfortable with one thing, or he's not open, he's not honest about things. And at the end of the day, people just come and nobody wants to waste their time. Nobody wants to waste. You have a conversation with somebody the first time, have a conversation the second time, the third time they are not answering your call. Just know that you're not offering any value. You're not making any progress. Not everybody has time to waste. Reflect on who is mentoring you right now. I'm not saying who you are listening to. Your pastor is not your mentor. I keep telling people that you go to church and you listen to your pastor preach. It doesn't make him your mentor. Going to counseling does not mean it's your mentor. It's not counseling. The person must know your life. The person must know your dream. The person must know where you are headed to. I don't understand mentorships that people just come and they just want to have conversations. No. It's, for instance, if somebody is mentoring you in the area of business, you can have different mentors on specific areas of your life. If some people say that their pastor is mentoring, your pastor don't even know your spiritual state. You can't even openly tell your pastor your spiritual state. You can't even openly tell your pastor the things that is going on in your life spiritually. How can you call him your mentor? How can somebody be mentoring your business? He doesn't know anything about your business. He doesn't know how much your business makes. He doesn't know if your business is making profits or if your business is going loss. He doesn't know, what was your profit and loss last year? There's nothing. If you're making mistake, he doesn't know. If you're making good success, he doesn't know. And you say, he's my business mentor. No. So I'm helping you define some of these things. You are reading my Smuro book. My Smuro is not your mentor because you are reading his book. You are only being influenced by his knowledge, but that is not mentorship. If you want to think of a mentorship, think of mentorship with the relationship between a coach and a footballer, the relationship between a teacher and a student, the relationship between a doctor and a patient. There has to be history. There has to be process. There has to be, an understanding of who you are. Your mentor needs to know your dream. He needs to know what you are dreaming of. Sometimes when you are going off hook, he will call you and say, we share this thing and we discuss this thing. You are supposed to start this thing this year. No, you must start it. No. It cannot pass next month. You must start it. And they prevail on you. They support you. You work together until it started. In what area of your life do you need mentorship most? List it. What areas of your life do you need mentorship most? Action steps: identify someone in your network or through prayer who can mentor you in an area you are growing in. Write down what you will ask or hope to learn from them. So you see why I'm asking you this is you can't just say I want somebody to mentor me. Please even sit down and ask yourself, mentor you on what? Okay, if I become this person's relation, if I become this person's friend, or if this person starts mentoring me in the next 1 year or in the next 2 years, so what I'm asking you is think through the process. Don't just say, they taught us to have a mentor. You start running around. Sit down and even think through it. Why do I need a mentor? Which area do I need a mentor? What do I hope to learn from this mentor? Bonus thought, a mentor shows you who you can become and how to get there faster. And then finally, we look at mentoring others, starting your own group. So part of the challenge I want you to think about is, start small. You don't need to be perfect to lead, just committed. Oh, if you can understand this, you don't need to be perfect to lead. You just need commitment. And let me even tell you, you don't need to be perfect to do anything in your life. All you just need is commitment. Many people lack commitment. They come today, they say, I'm going to do this, tomorrow I'm going to do this, next tomorrow I'm going to do this. They don't do any of them. There's no commitment. Okay? So who can you begin to pour into? Identify people in your life that you can begin to pour into. What experience or wisdom do you have that could bless someone else? Some of you already know so much. Even from attending this session this year, you've already known so much that you can teach somebody else. Okay, so write a simple plan, starting or leading a Transformers Connect group. Some of this group, I have like meetings, nothing less than 4 meetings every week for all the groups. I can't do that for the rest of this year. I'm going to blow up. Okay, so people are going to step up and begin to lead those groups. We are also going to start new groups. More people are coming in. So the idea is that I have a handful who are leading groups that are connecting to me directly. Then there are others who are connecting to them. And there are others who are connecting to those who are connecting to them. So we build a network of leadership. That is the global transformation. Okay, so it's not me trying to lead all the groups. Every group is supposed to have a leader. So I have a group I am mentoring. Then each leader of that group have their own group. Each member of that group becomes a leader of a group, and we keep expanding the network. That is the goal of what we are trying to do. Okay, so as you are receiving, you are also pouring into others. So it means that you are going to set out a weekly time to do that, and then teaching the transformation process and keeping your team accountable. That's the only thing we do. Keep your team accountable. So if you come to team meeting, maybe this week you are talking about purpose. Where are you in your purpose? Next one, where are you in your personal leadership? Next one, what about your relationships? How are you doing? How are you strengthening? What about the systems that you've set for your life? What about your outcomes? How are you measuring it? Okay. So personal relationship growth tracker, I want you to use this to map every relationship in your life. So you can have relationship type if you identify a particular friendship. So remember, these are just sample. I'm just trying to help you to do something. So if you identify a relationship, maybe it is a friendship, maybe the person is your friend, you can rate. Okay, so in a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate this? Okay, then what do you want to do? Improvements. Okay, so maybe with mentorship, maybe with your family, maybe with the people you would like to mentor, rate where you are in terms of them and what you would like to do in terms of improvement. Okay, and then final reflections. What is one relationship I need to let go of in this season? Okay, so when you actually do this, improvement can be letting go. Okay, improvement does not necessarily mean that you have to keep working on relationship, which is something personally I'm learning to do. Okay, it's something I'm learning to do. Most times I discover that I find it very hard to give up on relationships. My wife will be telling me, you have tried, you've done this one. Sometimes I keep holding on to it. Sometimes I keep holding on to it without, at the end of the day, getting anything out of it. Sometimes it's good to also let people go. Free your space. Add those who are interested in that space, and then you are making meaningful things out of your life. Okay, so sometimes people have to go. So in this season of your life, now we are doing transformation. Now that we want you to organize your life and walk in purpose, who are the ones that you need to let go in this season? What is one I need to invest more into? And how will I be more intentional about relationships from today. Okay. And then, of course, you make a commitment to build relationships that reflect your purpose, sharpen your growth, and align with your destiny. Okay. So the commitment I want you to make by the end of the week after going through this is from today to begin to build relationships that reflect with your purpose, sharpen your growth, and align with your destiny. Thank you guys so much. I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth your time. I'm going to be dropping this workbook in the groups, so that we can have access to it. And I want to encourage you, come to the sessions within the week. Those group sessions, go through these things, then come with your questions. Let's make it interactive. Maybe let me also say this. I don't come with lesson. When we come for those groups, those who are here, who have been part of it, will testify of that. I don't come with lessons. I don't come with notes that I'm preparing to teach you this. No. I always come to listen. So if I come, I ask you a question, or you might say, oh, I have this issue, or I was reading this thing, and then we begin to discuss it. We begin to debrief it. Some authors will contribute so that you can make the best out of your life. I was speaking with somebody within the week. I said, I want to talk to you. And the person was saying, I'm not in the right frame of mind. I said, well, this is when we need to talk. You don't need to talk to me only when you have the right frame of mind. Also talk to me when you don't have the right frame of mind. Because it is someone who is sick that needs a doctor. You heard Jesus talk about it. It's someone who is sick that needs a doctor. It is when you are not in the right frame of mind, that is the exact time we need to talk, so that we can identify those things that are helping, that is making you not to be in the right frame of mind. But when you not deal it with your own way, and you not say you are fine, and probably you have not dealt with it, you just numbed it. After 2 weeks, it shows up again. You find yourself in a continuous cycle. So sometimes you might not even know what is wrong. It's when the issue starts. You now talk about it, so that somebody else will now help you look at it, understand those perspectives, and be able to help you come out of that situation. Thank you guys once again. We've spent time. We just have 2 weeks to go. I want to thank you and also encourage you to finish. Some of you who have not started doing anything in your workbook, I want to encourage you to go and do something about it. The Bible says, write the vision, make it plain, so that those who read may run. Okay? It is not enough for you to say that you are listening to me. Put it into practice and make it work in your life. Thank you so much, guys, and God bless you.
Thank you for listening. Please do follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Transformers Global LC, on Twitter X at TGlobalLC,